Besides the carnage that happened on the Plateau in December last year and some part of January this year, one of the things that have been playing out in Plateau State, it's politics. Remember what happened to Governor Caleb Mutfwang that eventually was upturned in the Supreme Court. But the lawmakers of the PDP were not that lucky. 16 of them lost their seats. And the main issue was about the fact that they did not have a party structure. At some point, when the same issue got to the Supreme Court and it went in the favor of Governor Caleb Mutfwang, these members were not happy. But the law is the law. The final court, as far as that level of litigation and adjudication is concerned, was final. Now, what has now happened is the fact that those 16 members and all of that, 9 have now been sworn in by the Speaker. 7 are yet to be sworn in, and lots of questions are being asked. That is why the Speaker of the Plateau State House of Assembly is joining us to talk about that development as well as other issues surrounding Plateau State. We've been joined in the program via Zoom by the Speaker himself, Mr. Gabriel Dewa. Thank you so much, Speaker, for coming on the program.
Thank you, Jeff. Good evening, Nigerians. Good evening.
Let's start from some basics. Let's talk about, of course, we have the 3 arms of government. And let's begin with what's your relationship with Governor Caleb Mutfwang? I know he's of the PDP, you are of the YPP in that composition.
Well, just as you rightly said, you know, we have 3 arms of government. And that is what our constitution make it. But those 3 arms of government work together for the proper delivery of democracy and dividend of democracy to the citizens. And the 2 arms, that is the legislature and the executive, those are the 2 main arms that deal with the citizens directly. And as you know, you cannot have any productive governance if the legislation and the executives are not working together. Yes, I'm of YPP. His Excellency Mr. Caleb Manasseh Mutfwang is of PDP, and my colleagues, that is my other honorable members of APC. But you know, we have what we call pre-election interest and we have post-election interest. Pre-election interest is when everybody is struggling to get power. And when we talk of post-election interest, it's about governance and delivery of dividend of democracy to the people. That is to say, after election is over, we have to close ranks without minding our political party differences, but we have to think of those who elected us back home. It is the same Plateau people who elected me. It is the same Plateau who elected Barrister Caleb Manasseh Mutfwang. It is the same Plateau who elected President Bola Mohamed Tinubu, and so on and so forth. So we have to join hands to work together. So basically, I want to let you know and Nigerians know that my relationship with the governor is very cordial and very perfect.
So, correct me if I'm wrong. In the composition of the House, we have 1 member of the Labour Party. You are the only member of the YPP. And then the remaining are APC members. Am I correct, sir?
You are correct. Perfect.
Okay. Now, the issue of the court that went against the PDP lawmakers, 16 of them, favored the APC members. You have sworn in 9 out of the 16 lawmakers that the court's judgment favored. Is there a reason for you inaugurating 9 persons and leaving out the 7? What's going on?
Well, Mr. Jeff, first I want to clear one notion. You know, the major problem with Nigerians is people tend to believe hearsay than the reality that is on ground. Just as we rightly stated, we have 3 arms of government. Every arm has its own functions to perform. I'm a lawmaker, I'm not a law interpreter. Neither am I a law implementer like the executive. What we do in the parliament is to make laws. Now, sometimes November, there was a pronouncement in the court that 16 of my colleagues were removed by court of appeal. That is 16 of my members. As I'm talking to you, from that November, even though before that pronouncement, the assembly have adjourned sitting to January, we went on recess. And it is not at my own discretion as the speaker to the conveners when the House have duly adjourned for a recess. Now what happened is, a pronouncement in the court is different from the normal procedures in the parliament. I'm the speaker, I wasn't in the court, I had it on air that there was a pronouncement that 16 members has been removed. There's no any communication to me either from the INEC or neither the CTC copy of the judgment for me to be sure that truly those members has been removed. or anything. And I was waiting for that proper thing to be done. What will I got? Sometime January, a lawyer, one S.O. Obende also, wrote a letter to my office attached with 16 certificate of return of members and forwarded it to the clerk of the house, and the clerk brought it to me. And I replied back, Obende is not my member in the assembly. Why will he be the one to write to me? If court have declared members elect, the members know the normal procedures to follow. And you know the irony? Among those 16 members, 4 of them are former members of that assembly, that they know the procedures of that assembly more than I do as a first-timer. Some of them have been in that assembly for 8 years. They know the normal procedures. Court declared them as members. INEC have given a certificate of return. The right thing to be done was for INEC to write to me as the speaker, directing me that based on this judgment, attaching that communication with the CTC copy of the judgment, that dear speaker, based on this judgment, we have been directed to withdraw certificate of return from Honorable so and replace with Honorable so. Therefore, as an electoral empire, we are directing you, mandating you to recognize this person as a member. That was never done. And
that was Mr. Speaker. That was never done for the 16 members, because we need to put things in context.
Don't worry. I'm trying to give you the breakdown of what delayed the inauguration up to this moment. Okay. You know, many people out there are busy accusing the governor, busy accusing me that we refuse to swear them in with impunity. Some were even threatening of court contempt, and I dare them. I've said it. I asked them, I challenged them to sue me for court contempt. Even the National Police Secretary of APC, somebody, Felix Moka, he was on TV, in Arise TV, making noise that they are initiating court contempt on me. I was waiting for him for that court contempt or whatever he was bragging of. We meet in the court. They will show me that court order that I disobey. Then let Nigeria knows who is lying and who is saying the truth. They know where their problem is. Such was never done until sometimes 2 weeks ago. I was communicated from my House of Assembly, that is the technocrats, who are responsible for the documentation of the Assembly's document. They told me that 9 members have submitted their certificate of returns and there's a communication. I said, have they met up all the requirements? They say yes. I said, no problem. After all, the judgment that pronounced them are of different judgment based on constituencies. So I don't know. If the CTC copy of the other servants is not ready, I can't tell. If it is ready and they are the one who have not submitted it, I can't tell. Or if the INEC have not right, I can't tell. So what was presented to me is what I recognize and I swayed them in. And that's what I did.
So Honorable Dewa,
those names has been forwarded to me, and I did just that.
So as the speaker, have you been able to reach these 7 members to ask them, if you, let's say they are your members, some of them were in the house, you know, have you been able to reach out to them? So say the reason why you're not being inaugurated. Just hold on.
Mr. Jeff?
I wanted to find out whether you've been able to reach out to them to find out from them why they've not been able to present what you're asking them to present before they will be inaugurated.
It is not my duty to reach out to them because they have been on media everywhere attacking my personality. So I see there's no need for me reaching out. They are the one to reach out to me. I am the speaker. They are my new members.
So let's put it on record. Let's put it on record, Mr. Dewa. You're saying right here that the reason you inaugurated 9 out of 16, left out 7 members of the assembly who the court judgment favored is the fact that they have not presented the certificate of return as withdrawn from the PDP members and given to them by INEC to you. Is that what you're saying? I want to put it on record.
And the CTC copy of their judgments.
And the CTC copy of their judgment.
Judgments, yes. That it will be the legal tender for me as the speaker to use it as an evidence for me to swear them in. If such is not presented to me, the PDP members who were removed have every legal right to sue me to court. What am I using to deny them access? I hope you have not forgotten that PDP members have made attempt to enter the assembly. And the first question they threw at me was, on which ground am I stopping them from entering? And if I don't have that CTC copy of the judgment, or I don't have any communication from the INEC, what am I going to tell them that they have truly been removed from the court? Is it by bad pronouncement? It doesn't work like that. It's when I have that legal document, the CTC copy of the judgment, that is the legal document that I will use.
So if something, the point is, I'm trying to process all of this, and I guess Nigerians are trying to process all of this. I'm imagining myself, for instance, getting a favor of judgment, the judgment that took out my opponent in politics. Say they are talking about the APC and the PDP now. The APC members were beneficiaries of a court judgment that brought them into the assembly. It's difficult to comprehend why a simple information or a document like, as you said, a CTC, I'm not a lawyer, I can't debate whether or not that has to be presented to you or not. The CTC and the certificate of return has to be presented to you. I know that certificate of return, definitely. How hard can it be to just present those basic information to you? I'm sure Nigerians are wondering, because it doesn't pan out right.
Answered by the members, the beneficiaries of the judgment, not myself.
Because the other argument is the fact that, now, these allegations against you and the governor doesn't, at the moment, have anybody in the House of Assembly as we speak. You're a member of the YPP. There's one Labour Party member. We're going to come to the issue of Labour Party because there's another issue again with the Labour Party in that state, the members taking issue to court. And then APC members are 22. That means they are in the majority. Some are saying all of these is all political because the governor is concerned that since he doesn't have anybody in the PDP in the House, is using you, allegedly, to stall this process. How would you respond to that?
Well, Jeff, you're in Nigeria. And you know Nigerians, as I earlier said, Nigerians believe in cook-up story more than the reality. I want to put it on record. I am challenging those with that accusations for me and them to appear in your program. Let's present the facts before Nigerians. Call any one of them and invite me, not even through Zoom. Let's appear before you live. Let's present the facts and figures. Let Nigerians know where the problem is coming from. Governor have nothing to do with the House of Assembly. Governor don't have access to our plenaries. Some are even lying to you people that the governor took the House of Assembly to the government house. It's a lie. That House of Assembly, the complex is under construction since October, even when PDP members were yet to be removed. The House of Assembly, a motion was moved that that complex needs to be reconstructed. Therefore, the city should be relocated to a chamber in the old government house. That old government house that I'm talking about is not even the government house where the governor is using as his office. We have a new government house complex where governor is operating different. This is the old government house, abandoned government house, where even the last assembly, where some of them were part of, have used that particular chamber before. Whenever there is remodeling or renovation in the complex, you can send you are a representative in the complex and see the massive work we are doing in that complex. We made that complex like more of it was very dilapidated, that you cannot even believe that a sitting members, elected members, doesn't have access to offices because all the offices were very dilapidated. And we decided that we need to reconstruct that complex. We need to remodel it. And that prompted issue of moving this plenary to that chamber in old government house. Now the news out there is that the governor moved the House of Assembly to government house for protection.
Honorable Deo, I know you put up a challenge that you're ready to debate with any member of the Assembly, I mean the 7, who have accused you of working hand in hand with the governor to deny them of that their seats and representation. I'll take that as a good invitation, and we're going to work on that. But you are the Speaker of the Plateau State House of Assembly. I'm re-emphasizing, Speaker of the Plateau State House of Assembly. That means you represent the entire Plateau State, even though you have a primary constituency as the Speaker. Are you not worried that the 7 constituencies, or the constituencies that these 7 members are supposed to represent, they are losing out on representation, losing out on legislation, losing out on oversight? That means a section of the state is denied their voices by what is going on in the assembly. Are you not worried?
If I'm not worried, then it means I'm not worried to be a representative of the people. Myself, I'm worried. Even the governor himself, the governor that they are accusing, is even more worried than we are. If you have been following his public statements and comments, he is so worried more than us. But who am I to blame? All these challenges we are facing, I still push it back to judiciary. They put us into this predicament that we are facing. We're interested to know that if it were not because of the governor intervention, even the 9 that we shown in, it could have not been possible because there were court processes that I was served trying to prevent me from swearing in even those 9. But the governor used his own goodwill to prevail on some of those interested groups, some civil society groups who went to court to seek for injunction, to say, no, Plateau need to move on. Those various constituencies need to move on. We have to go on with that pending the examination of those matters in the court.
Honorable Dewa, excuse me, the people that wanted you to not to inaugurate the 9, what were their pleas? What was the issue with the court? What were they saying to the court?
I have the court processing. I can even start with the copy when you people invite us for that live coverage. Their own problem was that with the outcome of the Supreme Court judgment, they cannot be represented by members who were not voted on the ballot. It means there was a miscarriage of justice in the appeal court. And on my part, I told them that it is not at my own discretion to decide what happened in judiciary, because I am not a law interpreter, I'm a lawmaker. Therefore, until the determination of that, their agitations, else for now, I have to comply with the appeal court judgment that was duly served to my assembly. And that is exactly what the governor said. And I have to prevail on those interested groups because there was a protest. I hope you know there was a protest in the state. They are about to shut down the assembly the day we want to do the inauguration. You're also interested to know that we have to have an emergency sitting an hour before our normal sitting time. We have to suspend our house rule.
So let's begin to wind down now. What happens next? If they don't present this document as far as the lifetime of this assembly is concerned, is it that they will not be allowed in? Or I'm just trying to process what happens next.
Mr. Jeff, you are not a lawmaker, so you may find it strange. But what I'm trying to put across to you and any other Nigerian who is interested in, how can I let them in with what? If the other members that were removed challenge me, that what am I using to recognize their replacements? What will I say? Will I say that I had on the air that they were removed in the court? Does it work like that? It doesn't work like that. That is why when they make a pronouncement in court, they have to type the CTC copy of the judgment. That's why sometimes, even after judgment, people don't take it serious until they lay eyes on the CTC copy before you know what was actually pronounced in the court.
All right, so let's move on. Well, for the lawmakers who are, those 7 lawmakers, I'm sure you're watching, and you're seeing Honorable Gabriel Dewa, the Speaker of the Plateau State House of Assembly, putting up a challenge that you haven't presented your document, the CTC, as well as the certificate of return to show that you are rightfully to be in that house. So if you have any objection to it, I would like to have it so that we can have this conversation, because 7 members is quite a number compared to the number of people in the House. Let's move on from that particular issue to other issues now that I have you right here. I started by saying that earlier in the year, there was a carnage on the Plateau. And now that you're Speaker of the House, it's quite sad that the Plateau that usually used to be a destination of choice, more like a heaven, given the weather and the scenery of that particular place. Now people are worried coming to Jos and other places. What is the House of Assembly? What will you, under your leadership, be pushing aggressively to put a limit to these occurrences, if not an end?
Well, you know, this has to do with security issues. And sometimes security issues don't ought to be discussed on a media like this. But to do justice to your question, every citizen of Plateau, every bona fide citizen of Plateau is supposed to be worried about the in-season killing going on in the state. And like for me as a person, what keeps baffling me is the fact that Plateau is situated in the heartbeat of Nigeria. Plateau do not share border with any country. Plateau do not share border with any external forces. So one begin to wonder which road that these bandits, as they call them, and I don't believe that they are bandits, or non-gunmen, as some may call them, militias or something, they have coined them, keep giving them different names, that these people will pass so many states to enter Plateau with weapons, sophisticated weapons, to be killing our people, maiming our people, and what we really find on the media, that farmers headers clashes. Very unfortunate. There's not any time the indigenous people of Plateau are going to farm and they clash with any header and started fighting. But what we have in the Plateau is when people are sleeping, they come and kill, burn houses, cut crops that are growing. So basically, for me as a person, I'm speaking as a person, not on behalf of the state government, because I'm not the commissioner of information of the state, neither am I the director of press of the government. But basically, what I want to tell Nigerians is that I have a feeling that there's a conspiracy against Plateau State targeted at ethnic cleansing, a situation whereby our people will be killed and their houses will be occupied by the killers, and nothing is being done. We have lost more than 40 villages.
All right, Mr. Dewa. Mr. Dewa, my simple question yet again is, what will your leadership do aggressively? We have 30 seconds to go.
Security, when it comes to security, is a sole responsibility of the executive, who are in charge of protection of lives and properties. We can only legislate. So as a speaker, we give the executive all the needed legislative backing in order to curtail the security challenges by sponsoring bills that have to do with the protection of lives and properties of our citizens.
I must thank you for coming on the program. Right Honorable Gabriel Dewa, Speaker of the Plateau State House of Assembly. It seems like the issue of the Plateau State House of Assembly is not over, because 13 lawmakers from the Labour Party are seeking for fresh polls for exclusion from the ballot papers in 2023 general elections. So you may brace up for that as well. I don't know how that will pan out, but we wish you the very best. And we hope that when we invite you for that one-on-one with the people that are challenging what you're doing by not inaugurating them into the assembly, we hope you will honor that invitation. Thank you for coming on the program.
Very well. Thank you so much.